a messy bun ponytail hat. Hi guys, I'm Kristen and welcome to Studio Knit. Today's messy bun ponytail hat is going to be a fun one. I have gotten so many requests from you guys, and so I've designed a really basic knitting pattern for this. It's knitted flat, which I know a lot of you will love, with bulky weight yarn. So it's a one sit quick knit, and you can get really creative with patterns and colors. So let's get started. For our materials, we are using size 11 US straight knitting needles, yarn in bulky weight, any fiber of your choice. I'm using wool, so it's nice and cozy, a tapestry needle, and scissors. So step one is casting on. We are going to create our beloved slip knot. We can do it at the end of our yarn tail because we are going to be doing the cable cast on. I have an entire video on how to do the cable cast on, and I'm choosing to do it this way because I think that it has a really nice edge for an adult hat. If you'd like though to do the long tail cast on, please be my guest. That will look just fine as well. And let me show you just a little bit of how the cable cast on works here. We put our needle in between those two stitches right there, and then we take our yarn and we knit it through, pull it out, and then we place it back onto our left needle. And finishing up with our cable cast on, we are casting on 52 stitches. There we go, we have all 52. If you've been looking for a knitted messy bun hat, you probably have noticed that there are a lot of crochet patterns out there. I added those to my Pinterest page. You might want to check that out because it gives us a lot of fun color and pattern inspiration to make your hat your own. I have a link to my Pinterest account down below. Okay, let's go to step two, which is the 2x2 rib stitch for the brim of our hat. Now I do have the written pattern on my website. I have a link down below in the description. And so for the brim, the 2x2 rib stitch, it's simply knitting 2 stitches, and then we bring our yarn to the front and we purl 2 stitches. And we repeat this pattern all the way down the row. And we are going to do this pattern for 4 rows. So here on row 2, we are doing the exact same thing, knitting 2 and purling 2. Now once we have the brim of our hat completed, it is time to get really creative. So step 3 in creating our messy bun hat here, it is simply to knit any pattern of your choice, and from the edge of our brim we are going to be knitting up a full 8 or maybe even 8.5 to 9 inches. You can go ahead and measure your own head, the length of where you would like it to hit, but I am going to go ahead and change yarn colors at this point. You can stay with the same yarn color. In this example, I am going to be doing the granite stitch. So if you like the look of this, I have a full tutorial on the granite stitch as well as on my website where I have the complete pattern for this hat. And I just want to show you, this is what the right side of my work looks like, and this is the wrong side. You can see what the stitches look like. It looks like the back side of the work. And so when I'm doing my pattern, I am always mindful of what is the right side of my work. Okay, so I have completed knitting the length of my hat. I did it in both the granite stitch, and then I decided to switch colors again and do the stockinette stitch, which is very simple. Again, if you are interested in this specific pattern, I will have a link in the description below, but I also encourage you to knit it up in any patterns of your choice, and you can totally mix up patterns and colors and get really creative with it. I can't wait to see what you guys make. And step 4 is decreasing, and so we are going to do the very simple knit 2 together decrease, and we are going to do that every 2 stitches. So right here again we are going to knit 2 together, and this is a decrease, and we go all the way down the row. So where we started with 52 stitches, if we divide that by 2, because we are decreasing every 2 stitches, that will give us a total of 26 stitches when we're done here. And I want to show you, this is the front of my work, this is the pretty side, and let's take a look at the wrong side of the work, and this is going to be the side that nobody sees because it is going to be firmly attached to my head. Okay, so now it is time to bind off. Now you can do the regular bind off that you're used to, but that is always very tight and not very forgiving. So I'm going to do a special bind off here, which is called the Stretchy Bind Off. Now how we do that is we put our right needle through 2 stitches and we knit through the back. We take those 2 stitches off our needle, and now that 1 stitch that we just created, we place it back onto the left needle. So let's go ahead and look at that one more time. So we are going to take our right needle and we are going to bind off by putting it through 2 stitches, putting that right needle into the back, and then we knit those 2 stitches, pull it through, and now the 1 stitch we have on the right needle goes back on to the left. And once we've gotten to the end of the row, we just take that very last stitch, and using our tapestry needle, we can just weave the yarn right through that loop. Now if you do decide to do the stretchy bind off, you can see that it has a little bit more give than the regular bind off, and I felt that with putting our hair through, having a little bit more flexibility for the opening of the ponytail area, that would be very nice. Okay, so we are off to step 6, and that is simply tacking our edges together to complete our hat. So we are going to fold the right sides together, and then just taking our yarn ends, or if you need to use a little bit extra yarn, that's fine too. Go ahead and tack those edges together. I like to do the mattress stitch, but really I find any sort of stitch that you do is going to totally work out. And if you have used different yarn colors, then I do recommend tacking the same color to that area. And of course, with all of your yarn ends, go ahead and weave them in however you'd like, cut them off, and we are done. We just are going to turn our hat right side out, and it is so pretty. I hope you guys are inspired to knit up this messy bun hat. I think you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. I know you can get really super creative with this, and I am going to be knitting up some more as well. So make sure to check out my website. I also have a Pinterest board that you might want to check out. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye!